Okay, welcome back to Toddington, guys. Now something completely different. As you will notice by the screaming engines, the smaller stature of the riders, this is not Luton Motocross Club today. There are riders from Luton, but this is Kensworth and District Schoolboy Scramble Club as I used to know it. Now Kensworth Motocross Club obviously fits the times with the riders. They've got a vets class now, they've got adults. It goes from the autos, the juniors. These will be, I believe, 85cc. Back in the day these would have been 80s. Doing a bit of mudslinging. Christian there. Of note, as you can just tell, we've had a significant downpour. This is practice delayed by an accident on the very first lap of the vets class. We'll certainly keep the dust down, that's for sure. Determination in these guys is what you see from the adults, and I can turn around and say it's been 40 years since I've been anywhere in contact with this club. I raced with them through the early 80s into the late 80s. Distinctively two-stroke here. This could be the last time during the day you see a lot of these riders with any colour at all. They'll be distinctively a brown tinge to them within a lap. They have all got transponders. That is the difference. When I was racing back in the day, all you had was the lap scorers taking down your numbers as you went round. So as we had race conditions like this, it must have been a real struggle. First of the tots down. There is a dry line. Spit my teeth out round the outside. I'd expect most of these guys to be using that. The inside line, you're going to have no end of trouble. More to do with their size. Oh, can't park there, mate. It's brutal for these little guys. Carnage yet again. Certainly can't fault them for trying. But at last, for how long that may be, it has stopped raining. There are storms in the area. We've had thunder, lightning, all sorts today. So my belief is that there is the youth class. So back in my day, it would have been separated into two groups, seniors and experts. I went all the way through the seniors and done a handful of races in the expert class before going directly into the adults. Plenty of style out there. Okay, race order, that's someone in front of someone else. I honestly don't have a clue. Can't park there, mate. Keep going, bud, keep going. Can't park there, mate. Gnarly now. Can't park there, mate. These bikes probably weigh twice as much now with all the muck, and it's on your gloves, it's on your boots. Luckily enough for a lot of these guys, they've got electric starts now. That is just going to spin and spin and spin. It's fun, but it isn't, if you know what I mean. It saps all the energy out of you. Can't park there, mate. Neither can you. feel the rain in the air again. That will not help one bit. Of course, if you was an expert, the likes of the Wild and Woolly or the mud sweating gears, you'd be absolutely loving this. Generally the action would be spectacular and me filming them doing big cross-up jumps, but now it's more a case of watching them trying to hang on. To what can your riders see out there is precious little. Here's an example. Riders are pretty much discarding their goggles after about a lap and a half. Kensworth Club schoolboys out again. These, I believe, are your small wheel 85s. Notice distinctively the change in the machines from back in my day. Of course, all still 2-strokes, but my era was the era of Team Green, so a lot of these guys back then, if you go back 40 odd years, this would be dominated by 80cc quackers. A few Hondas would have been out there as well. I practiced a lot with Lee Morrison, who went on to be a schoolboy champion. And you think what these young lads and lassies are facing with some of these ruts that have formed over the race day, and then you think there's juniors that are half their size, and the bikes again maybe are 2/3 this size. So they'll all be on a shorter track, and it's a real struggle for them, but it's a delight to see. As I said, 40 years to 45 years since I was confronted with Kensworth Schoolboy Motocross Club. As I said, back in the day, Kensworth and District Schoolboy Scramble Club, my class. I remember some of the riders well. Barry Mortimer was a great rider, Kevin Seaton, the Mead brothers, and then of course I think just in front of us was local legend Julian Rawson. He was experts, or coming out the experts, when I was in the seniors, I believe. And then we would ride systematically with riders from the Northampton club because we'd share each other's tracks. Kensworth predominantly would use Houghton Conquest. A couple of tracks in, one in Heatham Reach, one in Leighton Buzzard. Everybody loved going to Ellsworth Motor Park back in the day. And of course, the Northampton tracks from the Northampton club, likes of Blisworth, Tunnel Hill Farm, which was renowned for the wild and woolly. Had great riders like Ryan Griffiths. He's now on to be a stunt rider. So when I would have been in the seniors, Mark Walduck would have been in this class. Someone I catch up with a lot of these events. Sure, Lawrence Wiltshire was that sort of age as well. I believe he's just turned 50 this weekend. I believe they've decided to give the juniors a sighting lap, and it's turned into real carnage because there's a real slippy patch over there. I can understand it because, as I said, you look at the size of some of these little ones. See what I mean about the depth of the ruts? For these guys, it's brutal. It's wonderful to see though. The future of motocross right here. The next generation. Give it 20 years, these guys, some of them will be club level, some will be British Championship, hopefully some will go on to take on the world. As I said, they're using a slightly shorter track. I think these guys are only out there for 8 minutes. This rain will not help them one bit. These are real tots, and yet again, they are flying. Mohican. 46 Brooks. Go on, mate. It's horrible to see. All the youngster wants to do is he wants to race, and the bikes is clogged up so much. They're over revving and they can't do much about it. But it shows you the determination these little ones have got. Many adults have thrown a paddy out there. This little bit here is just too much for them. Yeah, you look at the depth of them ruts, them wheels barely clear them. with the conditions of the track getting no better, in fact persistent downpours, showers, thunderstorms, etc., they've decided to pull the meet in. It's just too slippy at the back. Probably not so much of an issue for the guys that were about to go out, the vets and then the Luton club, but for the smaller guys and girls on the 80s and the 60s, etc., it was just brutal. So it's been enjoyable, winding back the clock, going back 40 years, seeing where I started out. I never got to race this track. Mine was predominantly with Houghton Conquest with Kensworth schoolboys, but great to see them still going strong. Great to catch up with some of the riders. And with that, guys, we will catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.